And welcome back, everybody. Both series have gone the distance, and we will be closing out the first day of playoffs right after this one. Hey, everybody, I'm still Pyrotechnics. He's still Clement, and our sponsors are still, of course, the four you see below: CTBC Bank, China Airlines, Chunghwa Telecom, and, of course, Caliber. Thank you for making the PCS possible. Now, we have a side selection once again. Hong Kong Attitude, from what I'm hearing, they chose the blue side. So, Clement, we're going to get 3 games in a row on the same side. That doesn't happen every day.
Yeah, it's really surprising to see both teams go for the exact same side selection, so not opting to change anything up. And from what we've seen from the draft, I think this just means that Hong Kong Attitude are basically all inning on the potential to get a B1 first pick power pick in the jungle. I think every indication goes that way. Like, if you go on to the red side, then your chances of snagging a Viega or Xin Zhao, something like that, I think goes drastically down. So they have to stick to their guns at this point, but it's a little hard to see how they are going to switch things up. A lot of times what teams do to keep this strategy alive is they have flex picks. Unfortunately for HKA, I don't think they've showcased any flex picks so far, even in the recent games. Yeah.
They kind of tend to telegraph a little bit. I mean, we've been talking about it a lot. The Bivin Twisted Fate comes in very early. And because of that, you know, we have seen Bivin play Lee Sin once, as you mentioned before. Didn't really look all that great. You know, maybe they've been holding on to something. I'm curious to see if this pick ban changes a lot. The Silas is actually removed, and they're also going to follow up with the Lucian ban. So some things certainly are changing.
Yeah, if I have to force Jimian onto a champion, I'd much rather it be Syndra than anything else. So they are going to just drop that one from the ban list entirely. For Machi, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just going to be Gwen, Viego, and Renekton. I think Gwen, Viego, Renekton. Yeah, I think those 3 picks aren't going to change. For Hong Kong Attitude, that does give them Xin Zhao. That was something that they were banning out earlier on, but I think Xin Zhao is perfectly okay as just like a champion, even if you want to take the late game. It has a lot of snowball potential, strong ganks, you can get a Gore Drinker.
Right.
You can actually go a more offensive build on him.
Now, on the flip side, Hong Kong Attitude haven't been able to find success the 2 times they put Kong Ye on that champion, but maybe that change is here today. Time on the board, you know, Diana, of course, is up and available. That's something that could get locked in early, or if they want to find an answer. I mean, Gemini certainly has snowballed his fair share of games on that. But it's just going to be the insta-lock and the Twisted Fate. Clearly, they're putting a bigger premium on Bivin.
This is so weird. I don't really see the point of going blue side if you're going to first pick Twisted Fate. I'm pretty sure Machi's willing to handshake Twisted Fate wherever it is. So this is just kind of baffling. Unless they go for Thresh of Felios here, that's a potential draft they can shift into. Machi has to allow that, of course, but in terms of Machi's drafting strategies, they're probably going to consider Varus here. Like, if they have Varus, I think they're probably okay with giving over or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like all bets are off in the drafting.
Oh, well,
given what we just saw, but Machi, they might just snag the Aphelios away for themselves. And they do.
Oof. Oh, okay, that's the answer. We were talking about this at the start. We have seen River do this. Yeah. 11.15.
It's not going to be Renekton to pair with it, though.
A lot of HP buff still, and she can be more of a late game carry at this point. I love the decision to go for just full strong compositions and go for the point and click CC onto Twisted Fate. So this is definitely one of those combos that has been very tried and true. That we've seen over the years. Every time around Worlds, if you give a team Twisted Fate and Nidalee, you're asking for trouble because these two can roam across the map. Point click CC, instant into Javelin Toss, and just a dead carry on the side lane.
Yeah, certainly a lot of deletion potential. Not to mention from downtown, those Shock Blasts are a big potential that Rock could be pulling out here as they pick that early one up into the Camille. For the Machi side, you know, the Rise is going to match the global threat pressure of the Twisted Fate, and we go into the ban phase 2, and it's all about that bot lane.
Yeah, for Hong Kong Attitude, I think they're looking for something that is probably you're with this composition, I don't think you can seriously play team fight. So you're just gonna try and snowball from start to finish. Most likely Callista has come out here. I'm surprised that Machi actually bans the Ezreal. It is a poke champion, but I actually favor the Callista here just for the extra power in the matchup. Even the Ashe is probably better than the Ezreal, so a little bit surprised by this this ban away from them. It is Machi's turn to show their hands at a jungle or support here. I think you're probably looking at, I would say Volibear, but Lee Sin in the hands of Gemini still has a lot of potent engage potential.
Yeah, we got a lot of cool options here. I like it. A lot of displacement across the map and a lot of mobility, so that does get locked into the hands of Gemini. We'll see what the rest of the Hong Kong Attitude game plan are. We already seen top early enough. We will see the bottom lane trying to match range with range, or rather get superior range could be an option, but as you mentioned, the Callista is up. We'd like to see a Callista Alistar here. That just, it becomes such a really big wrecking ball of engage and a lot of catch potential to fire things up, CC trains and everything. So that Callista does come through.
Yeah, it has to be a tank right here. I agree with you. I think Alistar is definitely the best option. Nautilus, not really that much synergy compared to something with the Fate's Call. Rakan's actually a very good answer as well. This is like the best aggressive early game composition. So strong lanes across the board for Hong Kong Attitude.
Yeah, I mean, there's like some serious distance. You can Fates Call out the Rakan, and then just like he goes the extra mile there. It's a very squishy comp, but Hong Kong Attitude clearly are all ending on killing them before they get killed.
Yep. So in terms of just 5v5 overall stats and value, you definitely give the advantage to Machi. They also have a 1-3-1 with a Felios comp, which I've said many times before. I think this is actually just the strongest comp in the meta. But Hong Kong Attitude, they are bringing in a do-or-die composition. This is early game or bust. There is no team fight whatsoever. There are no tanks. Anyone get caught, they instantly die. So I love this strategy, you know? If you're facing up against a team that is higher seeded, you have to go for something risky, and this is exactly what Hong Kong Attitude need to win out on the series.
Yeah, no, I love watching what this team brings out when their backs are against the wall here. And, you know, it's win or lose, sparks are going to fly. It's exciting, and that's what I love about watching Hong Kong Attitude. They do not back down from a challenge.
Yeah, I think, I don't want to be prophetic, but I feel like banning the Ezreal instead of the Callista might come back to haunt Machi. Because Ezreal in lane against Aphelios, he's not going to win the lane straight out. Callista plus Rakan, they do have that potential. You have Hail Blaze early, like, their level 1 is actually disgustingly strong. So I expect a strong possibility for some cheese in the bottom side of River, and I would like Machi to actually preemptively go there, like send a 4-man stack there and ward it out beforehand.
Yeah, I think there's the possibility of cheese. I think it's a probability at this point, so certainly we'll be wanting to keep an eye on anything coming through. But Machi have done a pretty good job of sniffing it out before. I don't think they'll be in too much trouble. They just got to keep it clean this game, you know?
The best cheese I've seen with a composition like this is you actually can send your Twisted Fate early level 1 just straight to the bot lane, and then get a gold card, kill someone, and then TP back to mid. Like, that's actually a worthwhile play in playoff situations. So,
I mean, we saw a lot of teleports taken. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up getting burned very early. I mean, all sorts of shenanigans are possible as Hong Kong Attitude look to try and close this one out, move forward. The winner will face off against Megabank Beyond Gaming, of course, but the loser will drop down to the lower bracket to face off against the Berjaya Dragons.
I think we're seeing some cheese develop on the side here from Machi themselves. Getting a 4-man stack early like this. And they catch Kongyue.
Yeah. Oh. So there's the spot. Koala just face tanks the spear. That's perfectly fine.
Face tanks too.
Twice.
Take a look at the runes here. Nothing particularly special out of these. We do have a grasp coming in for. Oh, okay. That's actually a typo here. Rock is going for Conquerors. It's much more standard. I was like, what? Grasp, Jace? I've never seen that before.
Yeah, for just a second, had to do that double take. It's been a long day, I suppose, right?
Yeah, it's a bit of a you know, just a mistake on side of production. In the bot side, this is exactly the ward that I was talking about. There's strong chance for level 1s here, and you know, Machi actually did not try to come here and do anything about it. So Hong Kong Attitude, they are going to know if a ward's there or not. They can now hog that ward and go for a very early level play. And they're even willing to do that with a leash. So this is very interesting. I wonder if the leash is going to mess up their timings trying to go all in here.
Yeah, I mean, those micro things definitely can make a bit of changes sometimes. And, well, let's see if it does. Definitely want to keep an eye on both Gemini and Kongye this game. I feel like a bit of a broken record talking about the junglers in this matchup over and over again, but it is so pivotal, right? Especially what they both do for their teams. Kongye really being the big carry and the player that the team sort of crystallizes around, while as on the opposite side, Gemini is one of many, but he can also function pretty well just as a catalyst, and this Lee Sin's a good champion to do it on.
Yeah, we are seeing a lot of defensive wards come out from Hong Kong Attitude just to make sure that Nidalee's pathing is not spotted out. They do have a ward early on the blue buff. Trade here.
Yeah, not any serious danger. That's just the level 2 advantage, it seems. Atlan and Koala managing to throw the weight around a little bit, but as you mentioned, it's such a squishy team. You got to be careful early on. You're not going to have a lot of sustain. You get outplayed in the 2v2. Things start to go pretty sideways pretty fast.
Oh, if you fall behind on this composition, you've already lost. There's no coming back with this composition. This is a one-way ticket to glory. So we'll see how they play this one. It's pretty interesting for me that Hong Kong Attitude did not try to give a bit more of an advantage to MNM and K. Frankly, if I'm talking about 2v2 strength, I actually favor their players in this situation, but they had them leash instead, and Machi do get the early level too, so we don't get the power that we expect out of the Kalista plus Rakan.
No, not quite. Not just yet anyways. And, I'm curious to see how this one does work out. It does seem like it's, just going to be going for the picks. Now, Scuttle's traded across the map at the moment. And, last time around, the focus that Gemini really put was on that mid lane to try and shut Bivin down. And, Machi certainly should have a lot of experience dealing with Bivin's Twisted Fate at this point.
Yeah, I think Bivin Twisted Fate's definitely his go-to champion. He did play a bit more Rise in the spring split, but recently with Hong Kong Attitude, they are very, very reliant on Bivin just on this champion. I think a lot of times the teams in the PCS, they do go a little bit over-aggressive. It's very easy to forget about the existence of Destiny Gate here. Do like that scare from Machi. They don't know where Gemini is, so they do have to assume that there's a 4-man stack. They're just going to have to wait on the wave and also call their jungler. So Machi will get quite a bit of info from this play.
Yeah, that's actually really helpful. Deep ward in. Really spotting out Kongye. And, that's kind of a crucial thing to dealing any team that really relies so heavily on their jungler, but in particular Hong Kong Attitude. Just track as much as you can. You don't want to give this Nidalee the opportunity to start sacking kills. It's going to look like Game 1 Diego all over again.
Yeah, and she can definitely snowball. Like, the other big Nidalee player we have in the PCS is River. And they do love to play with this Twisted Fate as well. Gemini should be spotted out here.
Yeah, Rock's going to try to walk away from him. Okay, that's going to be the turnaround. And knockback on Lee Kai. Rock is a little low on the mana. Going to try to walk this one out. I don't think he's going to be able to do much. However, he does flash, try to buy some time. First blood, para-teleports, and Bivin is going to be found 1v3, and he is trying to bail out. Gets the flash over, followed by 2, and oh no. Unfortunately, can't cancel teleports anymore. Actually, he's going to be able to walk.
Oh, no.
I thought for a second.
Gemini finds him with the Q2, and he's going to get out past the spear as well. Rock, gets the damage, but not on the right target.
It was close. He tried.
Yeah,
he really
we'll go
tried.
through that one again. Okay, so maybe Gemini wasn't spotted coming over the scuttle here. Rock actually goes in against Lee Kai. Maybe he thought he was already too far behind the play. And we'll watch as the TP comes in, but honestly, it's just not enough, and Bivin finds himself landing with just being surrounded on the play here. The jungler is on the other side of the map. Very surprised that went through, and his flash even carried the Lee Sin over the wall. Just very unfortunate on the timing with that.
Oof. Yeah, that's rough. Teleport comes back in. We saw the parting shot after the fact, but Machi already going well. 2 kills in Gemini's pocket. It's pretty much the exact opposite of what you wanted to happen if you're Hong Kong Attitude.
For sure, and now they are going to have to go into these plays without flashes on the side lanes, at least not in the solo lanes, excuse me. So I feel like at this point, Hong Kong Attitude, they probably have to set up for some bot lane play. You do have the quickness coming very soon from K, and you know, you just don't want to fight in the situations where you're already down without summoners with the TF. So I think bot lane's probably the answer right here. They have a good way for it, is shoving into them. And there's also Drake up for the taking.
Yeah, and that's certainly going to be good for Machi, starting things off right now. And it just seems like when they can control the early tempo, they can really drag Hong Kong Attitude around, not let them really do a whole lot on their own, which means Kongye is always playing catch-up rather than trying to stack the kills. I mean, it's a very telegraphed strategy because it's the only one Hong Kong Attitude have, is trying to put the kills in their jungler, and by denying him, by not letting him really do much more than, well, a little bit of counter jungle here and there, that's going to keep him on the back foot. Machi certainly looking forward. Although Kongye is up top side.
I am a little bit surprised that Hong Kong Attitude are actually going all in on this top side, roaming their support here as well. They will get a 3v1.
Well, they should get the kill, but really taking their time about it, actually. Waits for the Hextech ultimatum and then lands it on to juggle the aggro. They do execute well, but, you know, Machi immediately, they're just going to respond with the Dragon Take on the bottom side. This is going to result in a lot of tower plates, you have to think, at least.
Yeah, critically, I think the trade on bot lane for Machi will just come in a little bit faster here, so they can actually get the first tower blood off of this. And Aphelios getting fed is, I think it's actually okay for Machi. They're like, yeah, fine, like, you know, Lee Kai wasn't winning his lane anyway. He is very far behind, so maybe Rock can make something out of that. It's a 3-man stack for 2 waves, and actually no Herald taken either.
Yeah, Hong Kong Attitude don't get a whole lot back for it, and you know, this Kalista and Rakan lane just hasn't really done a whole lot. Now it's being pressured so heavily. You can see Gemini in the mix there as well, and this will be all of the plates, and very likely first turret on the next wave.
Yeah,
well, even blocking.
That's what I was talking about in terms of the tempo, is that you can't really trade for this without the Herald when the bot lane's already at tower. Like, the tempo play for Machi was just so much faster, and they do get the zone off as well. So at this point, Hong Kong Attitude, they need to drop this Herald top lane to kind of get something back and get even in that play. That was actually a gold negative play for Hong Kong Attitude overall.
Yeah, you know, proactive is one thing, but unfortunately just losing out on the trades. They do stop this tower from going down right now, so you know, maybe they can hold on to it, but you know, it kind of speaks to how well Machi are controlling this early game by how far forward Atlan and Koala have been able to play with absolutely zero repercussions, because Kongye is living topside.
Yeah, I think the problem with that play is they sent K up there and he didn't do anything. Like, it was just, okay, I'm here, but...
The flash out? Oh, face call. Back in the Pokeball you go. So, you know, they're going to try to make the play up top, but you're right. It just
they could
it feels like they're just trading not all that great. Tower's going to go low, but I still think Machi had the inside track. Actually, they take their time. This might end up being first tower blood for Hong Kong Attitude after all. Oh, the race is on.
Oh no.
Machi, oh, man, it was that close. It was that close.
Oh. That's gotta hurt. Like, Machi even slowed down their push to give full tower gold to Atlan. They wanted all of the local gold concentrated on Atlan. And you could tell that Kongye is kind of tilted from that one, missing the javelin toss right afterwards.
Yeah, that's rough, man. Well, Hong Kong Attitude had such a stellar game 1, and things have just really turned totally sideways. Obviously, you know, it's not game over to lose out on first turret blood, or you know, or League of Legends would be a much quicker game, but this is a composition that's designed to really try and snowball just off of getting picks early on, and they just haven't been able to find much.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to come back here. They do have Jace that's able to roam around now, so they could be setting up siege compositions. They do have a small window to do that. They need to find critical kills coming into that, and then just take the tower afterwards. So it's still definitely possible, but they need to be grouped up together to make these plays actually happen. And right now, Machi actually are the ones that are consolidating their mid lane gains. I'm a little bit surprised that they're going for side lane plays, where it makes Gemini's job a lot easier to pick people off. 1-3-1 is not what you want to do with this composition.
Yeah, they're just helping him out. Bivin, I think we've seen this one before, and he's going to face check right in on the ward. The damage, the kick, sideways. That gold card's not going to do a whole lot. It only buys a handful of seconds to flash. And the follow, ooh, tries to predict the dodge. Bivin does get out by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, very well done on Bivin on the back end of that one. You know, he does throw a bit of misdirection out at the front. Looks like he was going to go for the tower spot, but then swerves to the left side instead. Draven does come down, though.
Yep, and that's going to be the turn. The quickness is on. Ooh, good dodge out from Koala. And wow, Atlan actually left for dead in this one. Here's a chance for Hong Kong Attitude to open up. They do force the flash out of Koala. Can't find any damage on him just yet, but they are going to go in for the gold card onto Koala, landing everything they possibly can. And Kongye opens up. That's the chance that Hong Kong Attitude were looking for.
Yeah, I don't blame them leaving Atlan for dead. I feel like Atlan kind of killed himself as he used the Gale Force forward, where there clearly was not enough damage, and Hong Kong Attitude were already there. So I felt like that was a bit of a tunnel vision from Atlan, and just kills his support along with him.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, sport loyalty doesn't buy you a whole lot, it seems.
No.
Poor Koala. Ooh, hold up. Globals on globals. Rock could be in trouble here. Oh, man, he hesitates, turns back and around, and, yeah, knows he's a dead man. There's going to be the Hextech Ultimatum. He just tries to fire down Jimmy, and but that's the counter pressure.
Yeah, I do want to see Hong Kong Attitude actually try to siege poke a little bit more with this composition. Again, don't put that much faith in the side lanes. You're going up against Camille, and you're going up against champions that have semi-global. So we'll watch this again. Atlan actually goes forward here despite seeing K. So it was a bit perplexing. Like, honestly, they didn't even need any extra damage from Kongyu for killing him. Atlan just goes way too ham on that play, and it does pay the ultimate price for that. Also, if you look at the map, you can tell that Kongyu and Gemini were so far away from the play that there was no chance they were getting in here. So, a bit of an oopsies from the AD carry on Machi's side. And Hong Kong Attitude, they do get rewarded for it.
They do. Timing, though, Machi do end up getting the second dragon anyways, so they are on par, or on track, I should say, for Mountain Soul Point. It'll be coming up in the next 5 minutes, and, well, 3-3 in kills in this game. About 13.5 minutes on the clock. Machi holding on to that gold lead, but not as much as they might have hoped, all things considered.
Yeah, they still are within striking distance, but they do need a big team fight win now. And looking at Machi, they also have the Drake stack going for them. It means that Hong Kong Attitude might have to fight in these sort of these small corridors and places where they could be flanked easily when they don't really want to. The main thing that I want to see Hong Kong Attitude do is group up, throw Siege Poke down onto the mid lane tower, get the side lanes slow pushing, and just group. Like, that's how you play this composition. You don't really want to be spread out on sides against Jimian, who has that Realm Morph against, like, double TPs. That's just a death sentence for your composition. You don't have mobility on TF and Jace to escape those ganks incoming. So you do have to put yourself in somewhat of a risk for the potential for Death Charge to come out from Koala, but you have to play with that risk. This is why you have drafted the Rakan, because he provides counter engagements. And look how well it's actually working for them when they're actually grouped up. They find some poke onto Atlan, and he's very close to just going down.
Whew. Yeah, they find a lot of poke onto Atlan. Yeah, just go as 5. You know, force Machi to actually do what, to respond to you, excuse me, as they will go ahead and start off on this Rift Herald. And K doing a great job blocking here. It's not really going to be in a lot of opportunities. Something's going down in the mid lane, though. Looks like Gemini was looking for an opening in onto M&M, but, you know, Hong Kong Attitude, as long as they don't lose too much in the side lanes, this strategy works just fine for them. Okay, looks like we're going to have...
Oh, sorry.
Kind of push. Oh, no worries, Clement. We're going to really just have kind of the cleanup coming in for Hong Kong Attitude down on the bottom side looking for more, but they're kind of blind in their own jungle. You see Lee Kai actually stepping forward on the ward, and that's going to be the Twisted Fate coming in on the Destiny Gate. They get a lot of CC stacked, but Lee Kai still gets out with barely any damage dealt to him.
Yeah, really nice use of the Hextech Ultimatum to get out of that one. I think he dodged out on the abilities from K to allow him to just get out like that. And we are seeing a fork being, not a fork, actually it's still 2 minutes till Drake. So just a straight tower push from the mid lane. The best situation for them is definitely to get 2 towers here. They do have the point and click CC stun from Bivin. So if he is able to walk up here, could find a lot of chain damage.
Yeah, tower still stands in the middle, so it's a little bit tough for the moment, and they're going to just have to settle for that one. And yeah, so much vision investment here. I think Hong Kong Attitude are very keen not to be really caught out and get flanked on the sides. You know, when you're dealing with globals, when you're dealing with teleports, you want to be very, very careful. Because as you mentioned, it is all about trying to avoid those choke point fights where they just going to get themselves blown up. And a good adaptation for the HKA side, and you know, it is high stakes at the moment. This is the opening round of playoffs. It's still double elimination. Neither team will be gone from the playoffs after this series, but you'd much rather, even though it's Mega Bank Beyond Gaming up next for the winner, you'd much rather be in that situation than already down in the lower bracket.
Yeah, you don't want to use up your GA, essentially, with the double limbs format too early into the bracket. It's been a while since we talked about the builds coming out from the teams, but I do want to have a look right here as we have Lee Kai finally going for something different. It's been Divine Thunder almost every day on the Camille.
Triforce now.
Yeah,
all right.
I think this is the correct build path, because if you look at the side from Hong Kong Attitude, they're really not that tanky. There is no one that stacks over 3,000 HP here. So I do like the build. It's less sustained, but it does allow him to, you know, just breeze into Ravenous Hydra as well to get that going. On the flip side for Atlan, this is pretty interesting. We usually see him going for Immortal Shield Bow most of the times, but he did opt into the Gale Force. So he's going to just straight up build sustain in the next item. Kind of interested to see what he's going to go for here. As, massive shock blast.
Yeah, that really makes the difference, and now they're going to go in on the quickness, getting body blocked, but still finding a couple in this one. Koala, he's going to be flashing out after stopwatch burned, and just so much poke coming out of the Hong Kong Attitude side, but they don't get what they were looking for, which was the deletion. They do zone Machi away from the Dragon Pit, but they're healthy enough to maybe turn this, yeah.
Now, they got 3 flashes out of that single play, trading for only 1 flash. So very well done by Hong Kong Attitude, even though Atlan does heal up quite nicely on the minion wave, though. So that's what we have to track at this point. They probably still need 1 more shock blast to dissuade Machi from coming in.
Machi are going to try for this one. They do want to get involved. Oh, here comes Gemini around the side, looking for that flank. Keep an eye out as he goes for the flash kick. Looking for Eminem, who flashes right back in. They take him down in this one. Dragon's still aggroed on, but it turns 80 carries. Eminem is not involved anymore. Rock is going to try to help his team out. That's the double kill over to Kong A, looking for the carry on the spear. It's going to go a bit wide, but he's 1v3 trying, gets the triple. I don't think he's going to live much longer than this one, and that will be the wipe for Machi.
Machi, even with losing that many flashes, are still able to come in and just wipe the team. Unfortunately for Eminem, that kick just came out of nowhere for him. He didn't have vision. Oh, I actually did know where Gemini was coming in on, so a little bit unfortunate for Hong Kong Attitude right here, as they really needed to open up on the left side. They waited for a while, and even though Gemini doesn't land the Q, Lee Kai is there, Duskwave is there to open up on them, and unfortunately, Rock just takes the full hook and line on the face. Hongria nearly gets this back, but he misses on a crucial javelin, which allows another hook shot to go through onto himself. And wow, that was very close to being a hero play, but no cigar.
Yeah, no, he's not even playing Graves, but he does get 3 kills on the Nidalee, and that does buy him at least a decent bit. I don't think he had fully completed his Zhonya's after that one, so 20 minutes in, he'll at least have an opportunity to try one more time, but you know, it's such a squishy team. You can see them getting blown up so fast. Burning the flashes was not enough. And I really did want to credit Gemini there, setting that one up, you know, getting the outside flank, getting the flash kick on, and making sure Eminem wasn't going to be involved in that fight made all the difference.
Yeah, we're going to have another engage onto Atlan, but great use of the Gale Force here.
Yeah, that's nicely done. So Bivens is going to have to gold card the chicken and walk away from it, and ooh, very dangerous. Up through ramp. I mean, another thing about playing in choke points, it's already tough for Hong Kong Attitude to be playing into those, but you have a mountain rift, which makes it even harder.
Yeah, it just makes the escape for the poke composition that much more difficult, and it allows Camille to engage on you through other angles which you might not expect. So Hong Kong Attitude, I like what they're doing. Once again, they're trying to make sure this tempo goes faster. They're really not that far behind in the game, and 1 shock blast onto Atlan could get them back. However, they do need great wards.
Has the flanking. Going in, it's going to be Jimmy and looking to lock them up. Meanwhile, Koala is actually the one who ends up getting kill credit onto Rock. No more threat from downtown. And it's a 1-for-1 trade with Jimmy and falling. He, honestly, I think he probably knew that was going to be a one-way trip.
G-Man didn't do anything in that fight. He just went in and died, so a little bit unfortunate on his part as Gemini is going to open up on Kongyan. Don't really think he wants to go that hard on this one. So
dodge that spear pretty easy at point blank.
Yeah, it was actually an okay trade if I'm Hong Kong Attitude. You know, 1-for-1. I'll take it at this point.
Mid turret is going to fall, but, you know, in all honesty, it's 21 minutes. It's tier 1. That's probably to be expected here.
Yeah, the question right now is, with Hong Kong Attitude, even if they take down the mid lane tower, I think that's about it. Like, I don't think they can actually venture onto the enemy side of the map. That would just put them in such high exposure to Gemini coming in from the flanks that they can't really do it. And usually the way you want to play this composition is you're the one that needs the Drake stack. You need to keep the tempo up. You need to force the enemy to take poke from you. And they just don't have that. So even if Machi lose the mid lane tower, I still think they're in an okay position here.
Oh,
Gemini not
you know who's not in an okay position? Rock. Kongya is going to try to even the odds on this one. This is a good bait. Oh, there's actually teleport coming in deep on the minion wave, and it's going to be Bivin. Let's see what he's going to be able to find here. Looking for that gold card. Looking for Gemini, who knows he's probably a dead man unless he can get the kill off. Oh, actually safeguarding back. Tag team for the rest of the squad. And Machi, what a great bait to turn that around.
Oh, Bivin dies with card in hand, not able to do anything as Koala just snipes him.
And they actually take down K. He goes in for the sweep up and doesn't find anybody. And it was a 3v5.
Yeah, that was very ambitious coming in from K, and Hong Kong Attitude do pay the price as we see a fast shift over towards the Baron.
I think they're going to go for towers first, but you're right. I think they have the opportunity. Kongye will respawn soon enough, but Machi really starting to balloon their gold lead. And keep in mind, you know, in a minute, Mountain Soul is on the table. Machi have had every single one of them. And let's take a look at that again. It was a nice setup, maybe a little bit slow here for Hong Kong Attitude, but brilliant by Gemini to get out.
Yeah, the positioning from Bivin was honestly just so awkward. If he just straight up teleported onto the wave, Gemini would have been dead. But look as he lands here. He doesn't even get the gold card off before he just dies. Only gets a chance to pop the wild card. And it's a pure chase down from this point on. And I do want to get another look on what K was trying to do here. Yeah, I'm not sure what he
got hooked, I guess. I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah, definitely would have been better if he just went backwards on that one. But congratulations to Koala, great pick finding on his part. And I felt like Bivin should have just, he shouldn't have thought about closing in on Jimian. That was a little bit too risky, and he had to burn the Destiny Gate straight afterwards. If he just TP'd on the minions, I felt like that play would have been fine.
Man, Koala's got 3 kills this game, support carrying. A lot of them are like Ignite secures, but you know, it counts.
Yeah. And now Hong Kong Attitude have to find a way to steal this down. Mountain Drake is very detrimental to their composition, as they do have a poke comp, and those shields are going to make it difficult, so they're trying to get a pick off. Bivin's coming in.
Yeah, looking for one contest, but Koala doing a great job of body blocking. That's going to be the Fate's Call pulled out and into the top 2 there. Gemini tanking the spear, but they're actually chased away. Great turnabout once again for Machi. Jimian tanks up a lot before he goes into the stasis to kick back Likai. It's Atlan going to open up with the first kill, and meanwhile, Machi just on multiple
with the flash
fronts, owning this
one
back into the back line. It's Likai trying to find it. There's the shutdown, but they're just too damn strong. Koala on the front, chasing Kongye away from his own base, and that is going to be the quadra kill for Eminem.
Oh, they only lose 1 member in that ace of Hong Kong Attitude. They're going to pick up the Dragon Soul at this point. It just looks like lights out for Hong Kong Attitude. That was such an insane play from Koala. I didn't think he would have the auto attack range to get the staggering blow across the wall. We'll watch that again. Kay's trying to make his way desperately in. He is the main engage on the team, so this is what he is expected to do. Not much that he can actually accomplish at this point. He does put some damage on the Gemini, but that's it. And let's watch this play again as Koala does come over the wall after Kongre right here. Hook onto the wall, actually gets the super extended auto attack onto Kongre, and then Gemini follows up with the 3-man Dragon Rage to shut all of this down. And oh, poor Kongre, he even jumps in the wrong direction. Face plants himself into the wall. That was just, well, I guess I'm dead play.
And Machi just, they get everything. They get the fight, they snowball their Aphelios forward, they grab Mountain Soul, they grab Baron. I mean, this game is over, barring, honestly, a miracle for Hong Kong Attitude, feels like.
We do have the Bloodthirster build again from Atlas.
Oh, dear.
It's probably only
He's never
one
dying.
To do this one. Yeah, this is really interesting.
He's playing too much TFT, man. It's a great build for Aphelios.
True. Definitely is the case, you know? Especially the Radiant one.
Good.
Yeah, get extra 80 on that one.
Honestly, I'm liking this new set. I really am.
Yeah.
Looking a little bit better. Teleport in for Hong Kong Attitude. You know, this is desperation at this point. They need to find picks. They need to find a play. It's just, like, who do you even go for at this point?
True. I think that's the main problem, is that everyone's so tanky. Gemini with the Gore Drinker. Kay's gonna try, though.
Yeah, he certainly will. Oh, that's going to be enough. Atlan just picking off 2 like it was easy. Now they break straight into the base, and there's not a whole lot they can do to stop him. Man, Koala.
What?
His hooks, I swear they're getting longer every time.
I'm not even sure how they died. It was so darn fast that it was just like, what?
You blinked and you missed it, man. I mean, I think there's one thing for certain here. Is Machi, they're going to be moving on to the next. They will be facing off against Megabank Beyond Gaming. Hong Kong Attitude, desperate stand to try and defend, but they are just being cut through. This is what happens when a tankless team just does not get ahead, and they really tried. Hong Kong Attitude did, but they will be falling down in the 1-2. Machi coming back to take the series.
Well, I don't exactly have the correct prediction, but I don't have to call Nightstar Night Lord. Or was it Star Lord? Oh, it was Star Lord. So I'm happy
honestly,
with this
Night Lord
outcome.
sounds kind of cool too, but you know, you don't have to anymore, so you're good. You're safe.
Yeah, that's how confident I was in Machi taking down this series. Hong Kong Attitude, I felt like you could see how desperate they were. We were talking about this. They really were a bit of a one-trick pony, and once they kept the power picks out of the hands of Kongyue, he really didn't have any recourse. They were going for just full-on low-to-the-ground early game team compositions, but they didn't get red side a single time in the series, and they actually opted out of red side. So again, I feel like that's the flex pick biting them in the butt, and just Bivens' champion pool is so shallow. He played one champion throughout the entire postseason so far, TF every game, and that really isn't enough to keep someone like Jimin down.
Yeah, I think there were moments, especially in the game that they won, where I liked the Destiny Gate. It worked out really well. The problem was it was super dependent on, well, a lot of other factors, like Kongye just becoming super fed on champion like Viego, and you know, the adaptation. I think we've seen it kind of twice today in series where after game 1, after a big surprise, the stronger team really just finds a little bit more of a turnaround, finds a way to adapt on the fly. And yeah, I mean, if you're dependent on a single pick like that as a mid laner, you're not going to go very far at the top level.
True, and you know, it's always kind of sad when the casters can actually 100% predict what the red side bans are going to be. That's just unfortunately Hong Kong.
Well, when
attitude.
nothing changes, it's a little easy, I suppose.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
that's also fair. That's also fair.
What are you gonna do, right? But hey, like on the flip side, it's the master analysis, man. You got this.
Yeah. It was so obvious that what was gonna happen for Hong Kong Attitude, and I feel like the problem with this play is they were really banking on Bivin to carry them through a lot of their early games, and I felt like Bivin was caught between not understanding if he was going to use his Destiny Gate early defensively or if he was going to use it aggressively. And we saw that in the first play of the game when his top laner was clearly dead and his jungler was still on the bottom side of the map. He still chose the Destiny Gate topwards and die right after. So it just seemed like it's very difficult sometimes to get the rookies into the flow of the game and kind of tell them like, okay, we are playing a super risky composition. You are not Destiny Game to saving anyone. If they're dead, it's lost. We are only using this to snowball, no defensive play. Unfortunately, I don't think he got the memo. If you look at the damage charts, just not a lot of contribution coming out from the entire bottom side of the map, which Hong Kong Attitude for some reason completely scuffed. I just don't get this. Like, if you look at the play, like, especially the confusing play for me was when they roamed Rakan towards the top side and they didn't do anything with him. They just gave up plates on the bottom. which allowed
Yeah,
Machi to just got the first tower.
Yeah, we never really got to see, the reason for this recon pick and why they were going to go for like a very squishy team composition to try and get these picks off. They did finally group a little bit in the later game, but I felt it was kind of a little too little, a little too late, because you'd already seen people taking off, and obviously Atlan just kind of opened up and started getting the damage. I want to give Gemini a lot of credit for setting it up, but yeah, Hong Kong Attitude looked lost, and I just wonder why they decided to opt into this one. It was a cool idea for the composition. I like the Nidalee pickup for Kongye, but maybe they could have used a little bit more hard engage, and by hard I mean, I don't know, an Alistar or something instead of the recon.
I do think they just needed to focus on bot lane in the early game, which was really surprising to me. They had the better matchup, but didn't happen. And this game, finally a support wins the MVP. Koala gets the nod. It was instrumental. There's so many times where he just shut down Bivin or shut down Kongya and prevented them from continuing to snowball, especially in the bot lane Drake fights. He was so pivotal at just making sure that triple kill was the most Kongya was going to get.
Yeah, Koala really set him up well, and was able to body block quite a lot. Also, the hooks this game, they knew exactly what they were going to be going for, and so many support bans, and just Koala had a great time. When a support wins the MVP, it kind of makes you think, all right, well, that is seriously setting up a lot of amazing engages for the team, and Koala certainly did what he needed to.
Yeah, but, very well done.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I actually was just going to kind of fill, but no,
oh yeah,
red-handed.
Well, then we actually are ready to take a break, so we'll be right back with the interview just after this.